Hi from Gabriele of Stati Calmo, the statistical consulting service and channel that helps mostly small companies, organizations to make more rigorous decisions thanks to various domains of statistics. Today we have a request that comes from a school that asks for an analysis of school attendance. They want to show the days where students don't show up and investigate if there is also a pattern in this phenomenon. And I wrote down also the location of where this request comes from because it is very unusual. They provided an Excel data that I moved to Google Spreadsheet, and let me tell you that here I notice a template of accountants because for example they have multiple headers, and this is a problem when you want to perform an analysis. Then you have another problem that is empty rows. Sometimes you have also merged rows, and in total we have less than 600 rows. You see also different format. So this is not the cleanest data set to give to the data scientist or statistician. And as you can understand, the first task here is to perform a data cleaning. I performed it using a query that computer scientists know more than me, and I selected all columns where the first column is not empty. In this way we don't have such columns. That is probably linked to the previous one, but you understand that it might need a separated analysis. And so we have this data without the comment section. Then I wrote which day is using this function, the text formatted like this of the weekday, and then I can move to do some pivot tables. The first pivot table tried to see if the status depended on the day of the week. And the problem here in Google Spreadsheet is that I couldn't sort the day of the week. So we have this as first day, this as second, this as third, fourth and fifth. As you can see, most not present occurs in Thursday and Friday. In Italy it happens on Friday and Monday because some people want to do the long weekend, as we call it. Also in Italy, some students don't go to school if the day before their favorite football team played. The next pivot table is to see if we have a pattern in the month for the status not present. And since we deal with an island, let's say near Australia, we have to take into account that there we have inverted seasons. So this is the summer, let's say, and this is the winter. And the first hypothesis is in winter you have more not present because of cold, because of bacteria and virus and so on. But you don't see something like that here, because if we do the average here we have around 9%, and if we do also here we have also a 9%. It is slightly higher but not so much. So we can't say there exists a pattern for the season. And we can also check for the flu season that is linked also to the season. Here I selected the location, and we see this peak, it is in March, this other in January, this other in September. March, February and September. You see that you don't have values that match with what we saw here, and also here we have a too low data, it seems. So in my knowledge of this place, I can't link this finding, and also those two findings to something useful. But if I communicate these findings to the people that asked the following work, most likely they will find an explanation because they have domain knowledge. For example, maybe the national sport of that island has more events in May or November. So young students do the same of Italian students. Also in the comments we can have other insights. For example, weddings in that island can have a specific patterns. For example, in Italy, if you do a wedding in August, you receive a lot of courses, as well if you do it in December or January. Here we have another explanation that, again, I don't have domain knowledge on that geographic area, so it doesn't look clear to me. Here we have seasonal illness linked to May, something that we saw also here. So this is internal data that we try to see in Google Trends. Here you see illness as well, flu as well, that we couldn't see here because you see that we have 0. Then we have this other very particular reason, and also this personal reason, possibly psychological. So we can see already some themes: swimming, extended holidays, physical problems, doctors, and a general other category. As showed in another video, we could classify this comment using an external service, an API, that does the so-called one-shot classification, given some labels that we decide before. And I put the link for that video up, because otherwise this video would become too long for my standards. As a conclusion, as you can see from this video, we don't bring much at home. And this is not the first video that has such results, because statistics, since it belongs to science, don't give outputs just when we have something positive. If we want to do something in good faith, we have to give results also when we don't find them, because in that way other people will not walk a path that gave no results. This is science done seriously. That's all for this video. Bye and see you the next time.